So I had just started in my role as a chaplain and was kind of picking up some new patients and went out to a facility to meet this gentleman, and we sat down about 2 o'clock in the afternoon to a lunch of a milkshake, and I thought, wow, I can't wait to get to the point where milkshake is what I have for lunch. But we sat down, and on the first visit he opened up to me about his experience in the last several years of losing his wife and losing his son, and he kind of teared up about that, and I visited with him and asked if it'd be okay if I came back about every other week and visited with him, and he said that would be fine. And ever since that, he's kind of captured my heart and been one of those patients that I really look forward to seeing. And one of the things that happens every time when I visit with him is at the end I ask if I can pray with him, and he's a retired teacher, and so he's given his life to serve other people. And it's neat because every time I grab his hand and I say that prayer with him, when I say the amen and look up, he's got tears in his eyes. And here's a guy who dedicated his life to serving others, and when he is served, when somebody does that, just as simple as a saying a prayer with him, it just moves his heart, and it just reminds me of how important kind of that spiritual, mental, emotional aspect of hospice is. Here's a guy who just has devoted himself to other people, and to be able to pour into him, it just makes what I do worthwhile.
There are many reasons I enjoy working at Accolade. The management team is very supportive and encouraging. We have flexible work schedules. Our staff are team players. Most importantly is that Accolade puts patient care first. We're allowed to be servants of God and focus on the needs of our patients and their families. In the working environment today, so much of the human nature has been removed, but not at Accolade. It's as if the human fundamentals in the workplace has been restored. We're not strictly task-oriented. Accolade encourages us to spend time and get to know our patients and their families. If someone were to ask me what attracts me to hospice, my response would be this: listening and learning from my patients. They can tell the best unwritten love stories and life lessons better than any book or movie. Most importantly, if you listen carefully, you begin to hear through their eyes and their expressions, even when they're unable to speak.
One of my very favorite stories that has a lot of humor to it is I happened to be in the office one day with one of our home care aides. Her name was Rosie, and the phone rang. And so when Rosie picked up the phone, the lady on the other end, we'll just call her Mrs. Smith, was saying, "My neighbor's on fire." And so Rosie's kind of in a panic. She's looking at me like, "We have got to do something, Robin." She says, "This lady's neighbor is on fire." And I said, "Okay, what is her name?" We were looking it up in Allscripts, and she said, "I need somebody out here quickly." So Rosie is letting her know that we will call 911, get somebody out there, and little did we know, her neighbor, as in next door neighbor, was not on fire. She refers to her business as her neighbor, and she had herself a urinary tract infection, and she was on fire.